Welcome to Metatech Podcast, where we discuss with thought leaders in the Web3 about new technologies, Metaverse, the blockchain, and the future of the internet. Founded by Dora Cohen and hosted by Ricardo Carrion and Wendy Lopez.
GM, everyone. How's everyone in Metatech? I hope that you enjoy our last episodes. Today we have an amazing guest, Nazieh Fazli. Did I say correct?
Yes, close. Nazieh Fazli. Yes.
Nice to meet you. I'm so happy to have you here on the podcast. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm great. I'm here in Tulum in the jungle, and yeah, I'm great. And I'm very excited to be speaking to you guys today.
Thank you. So you are living in the dream. I know that Tulum is like a dream. How is it the weather? It's not too hot. How's the weather right now?
Tulum is paradise. It literally is paradise. I never ever imagined myself living here, but there's something very, very special and magical about this land. Right now, it's good. It is getting into summer. It does get quite hot in the summer, but now it's perfect. It's great.
Well, you look happy living there, huh?
Everyone is happy. Everyone in Tulum, because we have so much sunshine, we have so much nature, we have so much space. It's another world. It's another world to like the life that I used to live.
Nice, interesting. Now we are gonna know a little bit more about you. So, what about if we start from the beginning? What is the story of Nazieh? Nazieh?
Oh God, the story of Nazieh. Well, I guess, I was born, my parents are both from Afghanistan, so I'm Afghan, but I was born in Iran. So my parents left Afghanistan in the 80s because of the war and the Russian invasion. And so we went to Iran. And I was born in Iran. My brother and sister were born in Iran. We spent about 5 years there as refugees. My parents were applying for visas everywhere, trying to escape from Iran. And we were really unbelievably lucky to get the golden ticket and a visa to Australia. So I went to Australia when I was 5. And I was raised in Australia, primary school, high school, university. I spent all my years there before I decided to take the leap and leave Australia and actually spend some time in Hong Kong. Then I lived in London for 5 years. Then I lived in New York for 5 years. And then I I visited Mexico during COVID. To work remotely because we had some flexibility, and I never ended up leaving. 2.5 years later, I'm still in Mexico, and I absolutely love it here.
What has been like the biggest challenge that you have faced while you were living in all these places that are so different and your background? What has been like the biggest challenge?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge has always been the same thing. It's finding community. It's being able to find your place in that location so that you don't feel alone. It's been a challenge in every location, but thankfully in every location, I've happened to find the right people and establish the right friends to really have that community and connection around me, because ultimately, if you have that, you don't feel alone, and it really doesn't matter where you are. You feel safe, you feel connected. And I've been really lucky to have been able to establish that everywhere. But that's always the first challenge, because if you don't find that, then you can be in the most amazing place in the world and not be able to really integrate into that place.
And in Mexico, how you found like great community that make you feel part of it? And that's the reason why you're still here?
Yeah, so Tulum, surprisingly, was one of the most incredible places that I've ever been to when it comes to community. People here are so friendly. Everyone is open. Everyone talks to everyone. And so it's really a great place to be able to connect with others. But when I first arrived, though I was like meeting people, there was still sort of a disconnect in terms of the types of people that I wanted to meet. So Tulum is a very spiritual place. It's very, there's a lot of healers, there's a lot of wellness, which is incredible. But as a professional and as an entrepreneur, it was difficult to find other people from the corporate background or entrepreneurs. And so actually I ended up building my first business, which was Co-working Tulum, which is a platform that connects remote workers with those around them so that they can co-work. And you connect with like-minded people. And so we partnered with boutique hotels all over Tulum and used their spaces for co-working. And through that, ended up creating an incredible community. So this is the first time I've actually created the community of all the times that I've moved, but basically through Co-working Tulum, which basically helps remote workers find each other. Well, I found my own community as well.
So this is interesting because I know that you have more than 30 years of experience, like in various industries, right? And you come from a corporate world and then you become an entrepreneur. How is the story? Why you went from like the safety of the corporate world to the wildness and adventure of being an entrepreneur?
That's such a good question. I ask myself that every day. Why did I do this? No, I'm kidding. So basically, when I first came to Mexico, I had a job in New York. I was working for an asset management company, Wall Street type job, finance, spreadsheets, behind a laptop every day. And I was doing it from Tulum because we went remote. So I was working from here. But then I noticed that there was a lot of people that were suddenly working from home by themselves in their apartments. And it was creating, like COVID was creating amazing flexibility in terms of, having extra time to do what you wanted to do, but a lot of disconnection and isolation in the people that were working by themselves at home. And I was one of those people. And so I noticed this problem. And so I went to actually solve the problem for myself. I was feeling disconnected and I wanted to work with other people. And so I started this platform more just as a side thing. I created a simple website and I posted in like Facebook and a couple of WhatsApp groups. Hey guys, if anyone wants to co-work, these are some cool locations that we can work from. And it basically evolved very quickly. And a lot of people joined. A lot of people loved the variety of working from different places with other people. And so I kind of thought, wow, I think there's something here that's a lot more than just like me trying to solve a problem for myself. And that's how I sort of transitioned into entrepreneur world. I kind of just fell into it. It wasn't something that I sought out. It kind of just happened. And for the first year, I was doing Co-working Tulum and my full-time job in New York, which was very crazy. And then eventually things started to we got a lot of traction. We got like 20 locations and hundreds of people joining. And so I ended up resigning from the golden handcuffs. They were actually golden handcuffs, and went into this world of 20-hour days, no sleep, figuring all these things out that I never knew before. But YouTube became my best friend, and my brother and I did it together. He's also in Tulum. So just to add, I'm not a solo founder with that. My brother is also in Tulum, and we ended up doing it together.
So this is interesting because we have said that corporate has like the benefits of being like in a safe zone, comfort zone, but then starting something new is like you think that you will do maybe less, but in fact you will do way more, and now everything is on you. So a lot of people prefer comfort zone, right? What would you say to someone that is in a comfort position, but they feel like this fire in their heart that they want to do more, but they're afraid about just starting something new? What would you suggest to them?
So having gone through it myself, I would say definitely start something. Never hold that fire within you. Always think about, how can I just take that first step? Just to test. Because there are a lot of people that have amazing ideas, and there's also a lot of people that have amazing ideas that maybe are not businesses, but are more passions. So I think the best way is to maybe do a parallel approach where you keep your safety and then you start this second thing on the side, see how it goes. And when it really starts to gain traction, that's when you can make the shift. Because I personally feel like I probably made the shift too early. And then that caused a lot of stress and put a lot of pressure on me on figuring out the business model, figuring out how to make money very quickly. And so I think to avoid that, what would be great is to do both and definitely start, because you don't want to spend the rest of your life doing something that you're not passionate about, or something that doesn't have impact, or something that when you look back, you think, well, I spent all my days, I don't know, log it on spreadsheets and so on. You want to do something that ignites you and excites you, but you can do that in a very safe way and still be brave by taking the steps.
As a woman, have you faced more challenges, or have you faced discrimination, or no? Tell me a little bit more about that.
I think I've been pretty lucky in that sense that most people that I've encountered here in Mexico have been more supportive and more willing to help because I'm a woman. I think there was one element where I found it very challenging though, because we started fundraising last year, and I found that when I would go to these events where other people were fundraising, there actually wasn't that many women. And it blew my mind that there was people that were raising like millions, 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, and they just had an idea. And I couldn't believe that, because I was trying to raise money for a concept that I had for a year and a half that had traction, that was doing well. And I was trying to raise $500,000, and it was not very successful. And I don't know if that was because my pitch was bad or if it was something else, but that's where I saw a big sort of disconnect between, I guess, the confidence and opportunities maybe that are available to the men that maybe are not available to the women, but overall it's been a positive experience.
That is very nice to hear. And now, how is the connection between being an entrepreneur to the Web3? How is that bridge going on? Can you tell a little bit more about that?
Yes. So basically, after creating this incredible community in Tulum of professionals, an opportunity came up. Well, actually, firstly, we were very well connected with other community groups at Tulum, including the Tulum Crypto Club, which is another community like group, and various other sort of membership-based platforms or community groups in Tulum. And Tulum Crypto Club is another community that formed during COVID. They do weekly meetups in Tulum to talk about crypto, all things crypto, Web3, AI, blockchain, you name it. Every week they've got someone talking about these topics. And through our relationships, we thought, you know what, there is something here. There's something here in Tulum that's magical. And crypto is such an important technology. All around the world, there is some sort of summit, there's some sort of conference, there's some sort of get-together to bring together these really incredible minds and share this knowledge. And so basically, we all came together, we brought community, we merged all of our communities together and started the Tulum Crypto Fest. So we're now in the second year, but basically that's sort of how it was born and how I sort of got connected into that space.
What have you learned the most about being connected with this crypto community? Has been any challenge? Have you have like new tools for your own businesses? Tell me a little bit more about that.
So one thing that I've learned is that because the technology is quite new and there's so many people constantly building something in this space, trying to like tap into it, get their foot in, there is a lot of collaboration opportunities. So one thing that's incredible about the Tulum Crypto Fest is that we have so many people that are in the NFT space, that are in the blockchain space, that have already done their own DAO, that are in money processing. All of them want to be involved and are supporting. They're supporting in a way where they're providing their services to us in order for the fest to be as amazing as it can be. From Tripton and like backstage providing passes for us and ticketing platforms to people building out our NFTs and having Money Giver, which is a platform that does like payments. All of these services, they have come and they've said, we want to support this idea because we love the idea of educating people, bringing people together, creating community. So that has been something that's been both surprising and wonderful about what we're doing out here.
So can you tell us, we have said about the Tulum Crypto Fest, but can you tell us a little bit more about what is this Tulum Crypto Fest, what is the heart about it, and so on?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the Tulum Crypto Fest is one of the coolest crypto conferences you can possibly go to. Because what we've taken is we've taken a business concept and we've made it fun. We've made it a festival, like an actual festival. 4 days of music, art, entertainment, speakers, a metaverse experience, and everything that you can expect from a conference and a festival literally in one. And the other thing that's amazing is that Tulum is a really magical place. It's really special. This land has a really unique energy to it. It also has a cool culture, amazing wellness, and this art and music scene is an important part of this area. So we've basically merged all of that together so that you can have a professional experience with a lot of fun in one of the most beautiful parts of Mexico. And the entire ground this year is being custom built. It's being custom built for the festival. The DJ booths to the main stage to the art walk that we're having, everything. It's really going to be out of this world.
And the question now is about like the environment part. Like in light of recent controversies surrounding the environment impact of crypto, how does the Tulum Crypto Fest approach these issues? Like how you are protecting like nature, especially being in Tulum, that is such a natural place.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of like the infrastructure that we're using, all the materials that we're using are fully sustainable, and that the location that's been developed is going to be reused over and over again. So it's not like a one-time thing that we're building this space in. In terms of like the environment, we have quite a few speakers coming to address that point specifically. For example, we have people talking from climate trade and so on. So they're coming in to talk specifically around this whole environmental factor and how we address it, how we make sure that we are being conscious about how we're using this technology. I myself am not an expert in that field, but we have brought in experts to educate and provide all the information and knowledge to the community.
What excites you the most about the Crypto Fest?
There's so many things. First of all, it's just so cool. It's like so cool. The entire concept of what we've actually got in store for everyone. But there's a couple of things. We have a whole Metaverse experience planned this year. So if you can't make it in person, after the fest, you can explore all the talks, see it in a digital version in the Metaverse. So that's new this year, which I'm super excited about. We have a whale tank. The whale tank's actually going to be powered by Co-work in Tulum, where we're going to have multiple people pitching to a panel of judges and seeking funding, support, mentorship, incubation. And the panel is incredible. We have Selena Moschini from Unicorn Hunters as one of the judges. Pablo Gonzalez, who is the founder of Bitso, the largest cryptocurrency exchange in Latin America. He's one of the judges. Pratik Gori, a unicorn blockchain company from India. And Ron Oliver, who's taken multiple companies to unicorn status. So just the panel is so impressive. I'm like, oh my God, I just want to pitch an idea just to be in front of them. So we have that. We have a live hackathon happening with 120 people. We have we have NFT drops happening throughout the festival. So if you go to some talks, you'll get some NFT drops. If you go to some of the after parties, you'll get some drops. If you go to the whale tank, if you go here, you go there. There's going to be different drops happening at different times to keep people engaged. It's going to be really fun. We've gamified in many ways to make people really engage with the content, but also educate them on the future of this technology. So it's not just about, being there. It's also about implementing as much as we can so that people get educated in this space.
And about the artists, do you have some local artists or this come from outside? How is the participation of locals into the fest?
Actually, the majority of our artists are local. One of our bigger, we have one artist. Actually, he was part of the founding team as well. Feel the Fruit. He's he's an incredible Tulum artist. Actually, now globally touring with his art all over the world. But the majority of our artists are local or from Mexico. We do have some international artists coming in as well. We have one doing like a jingle for us, other one doing different holographic sort of activations and so on. But most of them are Mexican, and we have done that intentionally to make sure that we support the local economy as we sort of grow this concept.
That is very nice to hear, because sometimes you go to some festivals and you're like, where are the Mexicans?
No, we have a lot. And we also have, it's not just like your traditional art. We have NFT art, and we also have a ton of like installation, which is going to be really cool.
Wow, that is amazing. What would you suggest to someone that has not decided if going or not going? What would you tell them?
Oh my God, it's a no-brainer. If you love festivals, if you love having fun, if you love technology, this is the place to be. You're going to meet so many people, you're going to have so much fun, and it is in the Tulum jungle. It's literally where nature meets technology. We have taken this whole concept of barefoot luxury and immersing yourself into nature as a new way of connecting, but not just with yourself, but also now connecting with others and connecting with the future of basically the future in general.
Now the question is, you said wellness. How would you approach wellness into crypto? Because when you are like in Twitter, that is pretty much the social media of the Web3, you see so people like being messed up with so bad mental health, being trolls, you're like, man, chill out. How would you approach that, like the wellness for the Web3?
So wellness for Web3, I'm not an expert in that, but we actually have an entire day focused on wellness and talk specifically about wellness and Web3 and how they actually come together. And throughout the entire festival, from like Friday to Sunday, we have full day programs of yoga, meditation, wellness talks, breath work, and a lot of these sort of activations so that people are able to disconnect while they're at the festival as well. It's not just about connecting, it's also about disconnecting, but disconnecting and connecting with others while, either doing yoga or doing some of these other sort of activations that we have. But we have, and I wish I remember their names off the top of my head, but we have an entire schedule just about wellness and wellness talks, and it's all in the Web3 space.
Wow, that sounds interesting, because you rarely see this type of topic in a conference. I just went to NFT NYC. No one was talking about that, and I think it's so important, especially in a space that is so savage.
Exactly. No, absolutely. And that's what makes this conference so unique. It's not a traditional conference at all. It's one where we're focused more on the consciousness and on the people, which is very much in line with the Tulum sort of way. So it's a unique experience for sure.
To end this conversation, I would like to go back a little bit into your entrepreneur way, right? Because you have started the co-working in Tulum. You're also part of the Tulum Crypto Fest, and that takes a lot of organization and a lot of being disciplined. So how do you handle all of this? What is your advice to someone that wants to do something, but they say they don't have enough time? Because you are proving otherwise.
Oh God, I guess it's just being organized. It's being really, really organized. I'm very structured, and I think that comes from my corporate background. Having worked at like PwC and a lot of consulting companies and at banks, everything had to be done in a particular way and done very professionally. And so that skill set that comes from my corporate background, I've been able to apply to put really good structure in place. But I guess in terms of a tip, it would just be to be able to prioritize. The most difficult thing to do, that I've found has been saying no. Because once you start with an opportunity, people will come to you with 50 different ideas and want to collaborate in many different ways. So being able to identify what is important and what is not important and prioritizing those things is a really, really good skill to be able to have, because then you can focus your time. Otherwise, you end up spreading yourself way too thin. You get burnt out, and yeah.
What tools do you use? Do you use like Notion or Trello? What type of tools do you use to manage all these organizations?
I use all the tools. But my favorite is Excel. My brother is always like, can you stop using Excel and use Notion and use Monday.com and use our CRM? And I don't know. For me personally, I just like to use a simple Excel document. But having said that, we use AI extensively. Like, I'm on ChatGPT multiple hours a day. We use 5 to 10 different AI tools every single day. And that is actually now helping us a lot more in terms of efficiency and productivity. And even actually, for example, like taking meeting notes. We don't take meeting notes anymore. We have an AI for that. All of our content is done through AI. All of our copy is done through AI. So that actually has been a significant game changer. And I think this is the best time ever in history to be an entrepreneur, because you can have your website made in a day, your copy written for you, your content created for you, and you don't need to hire for it. Because the most difficult thing about being an entrepreneur is trying to offload or delegate the more simple tasks off your plate, but having the money to hire the people as well. And now it's so accessible. You literally have a full staff workforce at your fingertips if you can effectively use AI tools. And that has definitely been a game changer for us. Even in just the last 3 months, our productivity has gone through the roof.
What AIs do you suggest to new entrepreneurs besides GPT?
I mean, ChatGPT is just the baseline, 100%. That's like just absolutely amazing. But then it really depends on what it is you're doing and what stage you're at. So Mixio, for example, will create an entire website for you. You literally just say, my idea is that I want to sell water bottles that are made from paper. It does the entire website and copy for you. It's incredible. Pictory is my favorite content video creation app. A lot of people like Synthesia, and there's so many now. But you put in your content in there, within 10 seconds, you have an entire video that is summarizing that particular that content for you. What else do I have a spreadsheet with about 50 different tools on there. So my mind is blanking now, but pretty much this is how my day goes. Okay, we need to do this. The first thing I do is check, is there an AI tool for this? If there is, I try and use it. If there isn't, then we'll go and we'll go and do it ourselves. But I'd say half of our work now is done through AI.
Wow, this is very interesting, because yesterday in another podcast we were discussing about the importance of AI into creativity, because many people is like, no, don't use. It's like, why don't you take it into your advantage, right? So what do you think, for a final question, what do you think about creativity and using tools like AI?
I'm a big supporter. Like, for example, Midjourney will allow you to create based on your own creativity. It's everything with AI is based on your prompt. What is your level of detail and your mindset and your thought process and what's in your head? You can literally write that out in the most basic words and it will create the vision for you. that is like magic. That's absolutely magic. And so I feel like I've become more creative through using AI tools, because previously I may have said, look, I'm thinking about a logo. I want to have this logo for my company, and these are some of the words that I'm thinking. So I tried that with Midjourney. I put in some words, and then I was like, okay, but what about if we do this and if we do this? And I started really getting better and better and better at how to getting more creative in the prompts, and then creating more creative output as a result. But that comes through, firstly, just going for it and trying. But secondly, it takes you to a place that you haven't been before, which makes you creative. That is creativity, going to places that you have never been before.
So yes, I think AI is like the best tool that has been, even though that it has been for a long time until now, just people start to realize about this. And I do agree with you that using AI is like a game changer for everything. So I think we are gonna end the podcast, and final thoughts about being an entrepreneur, the Web3, and everything that you are doing to our community. Anything that you would like to say?
Final thoughts is, we are now in a time that is truly unique. I think that with AI, with blockchain technology, with Web3, we're moving into a space that makes technology very accessible. You don't have to be able to code. You don't have to be technical. You don't have to have a lot of skills that you previously needed to have in order to launch something or start something. Now we're in a time where you can have absolutely zero technical knowledge and launch a tech company. I truly believe that. And so for people that are out there that are wondering, should I get started? Is this a good time? This is the absolute best time in history, in my opinion.
Thank you so much, because that is very inspirational, because sometimes you're like, no, better no, but you're so right about that. So thank you so much for being here with us in the Metatech Podcast. I hope that you have had a good time. And I'm going to end, guys, to go to follow Nazieh Fazli from Coworking and the Tulum Crypto Fest, guys. All the information is in the caption. So see you soon, guys.
Thanks for listening to Metatech. Please feel free to subscribe and share. We'll catch you in the next episode.